Thrilled to have with us in this segment Michael Feldman, who's the president and CEO of Feldman Surveyors. Michael, welcome.
Thanks, Tim. Thanks for having me.
So, Feldman Surveyors, you're Michael Feldman, and surveying, people may have an inclination of what that is, but why don't, Michael, you tell us a little bit about the company and its history?
Sure. So the firm, we're in a third generation now. My grandfather started the firm in 1946.
Wow.
So at the basic level, we're a survey engineering firm, so we work with architects, developers, construction engineers, construction managers to really do planning and permitting. So we'll obtain all the data out in the field to do the plans that the architects can design from. We kind of take it a step further where we see ourselves as guiding the development vision to then become the built reality. Because now surveying is taking place with drones. Surveying is taking place with 3D laser scanners and building 3D models. And that's how the construction world and design world has been expediting lots of schedules and, doing better money-wise as far as budgets too.
And, it's really, when people think of construction, they think of, contract, general contractor and the subs, but really a good quality surveying company or team, or both, or one and the same, is absolutely critical from the earliest stages in terms of going before a city, a town, various boards and commissions that oftentimes, planning board, zoning board, conservation commission, having a definitive plan, understanding the uses. It's more than just a line and understanding where the borders and who owns what. There's a whole element that before the construction even starts that you're involved in.
Sure, and geez, you could sell it for us, which is great, but we are part of what we call the project life cycle. So somebody looks at commercial real estate and they want to buy it. We do the survey work to show them what's on the property, what easements are there. The bank wants a survey done for commercial lending, and then they start doing design and permitting, and they need our work for that. And then, like you said, they go to construction. We can lay out the buildings and do as-built as they go, and then later there might be a long-term financing type of play for the developer, and we'll do survey work there. So we're there from beginning to end. So you were spot on with how it works.
Just from over the years, you and big projects or developments, or even small projects, real estate. Someone looking to build on a lot on a residential side. Oftentimes, the individual will be there. They may have an attorney or someone representing them, but on the other side would be the surveyor to be able to answer a lot of those technical questions, building questions, environmental questions, which are critical to a yes or no decision.
Sure.
The other piece of this that you just alluded to is how technology has changed, drones and things. Taking advantage of that, and as you mentioned, being involved through the life cycle of a project is also important as a owner or construction general contractor, whoever, trying to manage and control costs, because we know in the regions, in New England, and Worcester and Boston, construction costs are the same. Being able to stay on budget is critical to the viability of projects.
Sure, and that's where the technology has really helped. So especially in Worcester and then in Boston, you have these beautiful old buildings. They're doing adaptive reuse and renovation. With the 3D laser scanning technology, we will do a whole 3D survey of an interior, show the columns, show the beams, all the walls. We build a model of what's represented there, and the architects start working in that model long before construction starts. So now they're seeing the walls aren't plumb, and they can see we're going to need steel up here, and they can order steel based on these dimensions. Right. Instead of basic handheld devices doing dimensioning, and then construction starts, the steel shows up, it's not the right size, now it's delayed, and now there's more money. So it's really expediting the process quite a bit.
Michael, at the outset you mentioned the company started in 1946. Maybe you could talk a little bit about the history of the company and its growth.
Sure. Yeah, my grandfather started the business in 1946 when he found a need in Boston for these services to support civil engineering. And from then he developed the company into a bigger firm that even did work in Niagara Falls and New York. We did work to map the city of Boston for assessors. We worked on the Mass Pike extension.
The Hancock.
The Hancock Tower came into being in the middle 60s and was built in the late 60s as well. International place, and so still we were doing work at many of the schools, Boston College, and to the west as well. My dad was involved around 1964, and I came in 1998, so I've been there about 21 years.
And some real growth in the company and work.
Sure. So things have changed a lot. During my dad's era, there were lots of up and downs and the savings and loan crash and everything. For me, I've seen 2009, which was tough.
Yeah.
We were $2.2 million of revenues that year, and last year we were at $13 million.
Right.
So it's been great growth. We've gone from 25 people to 70, and it's been a great run.
Great. And expanding in terms of geography as well. You joined the chamber, been very active in a short period of time. We were talking before we started the show about some of the work you're doing in Western Mass. Kind of what's your thoughts and plans on growth in this region?
Well, it's exciting because, like I had said earlier, we started thinking about Worcester because of its location. And we have about 12 people out of 70 who wouldn't mind working in this office already because of where they live. We were doing some work out here already, and we started thinking, how do we attract more talent to come to this firm? Because most people are working right now, and they don't want to come into Boston. So I came out to Worcester, and I started looking around, and what I saw and what I heard was incredible. I came to the downtown to look at a commercial condo, very affordable. It's a block from the Common, right next to the Midtown Mall.
Right.
And so I met up with some attorneys from Bowditch. They invited me to the Larry Lucchino event they did.
Yeah.
And I just got sucked into the excitement. I mean, the Red Sox are coming. We've got these old, beautiful buildings here. We've got new buildings. We've got a very involved Chamber of Commerce that you guys have rolled out the red carpet. And it's very exciting to be part of a growing and exciting area. And a lot of the clients thought, oh yeah, Feldman, you do everything in Boston. We call you for Boston. And I would try to tell them, well, we have people who live west of Worcester. We service Worcester and west. Now we're going to be a tax-paying citizen in Worcester, hiring local people, and we feel like we're going to have even more of a presence at this point.
Well, that's great, and we're excited to have you in your involvement. One of the pieces we talked about was, some of the historic rehab, and you do some stuff around, Boston scanning buildings. Why don't you talk a little about that and maybe get a way to giving back?
Sure. So we founded a program called Scanning Historic Boston. Because this technology that we use is a great way to do a 3D survey of, architecturally significant buildings, or any buildings for that matter. And you can digitally archive every dimension, so you could put a building back together if something were to happen. So the nonprofits and government entities who run these historic resources in Boston and other places, they need to spend their resources on deferred maintenance and windows and repointing a brick. They don't have money to hire surveyors to come do a great digital archive just in case something happens. In Europe, that's been fairly popular. We know that what happened to Notre Dame Cathedral, fortunately, there were some archives there, which is great. So we took it upon ourselves to say, there's a lot going on here. We're gonna scan 2 historically significant buildings a year in Boston, and we're gonna build up this archive. We started that in 2007.
Wow.
And it's been going well, and it's something we need to do. So I was asked, well, do you think you're going to apply that to Worcester? And the answer is absolutely. The first building I thought about was City Hall.
Yeah.
It's this building built in 1898, modeled after Italian Renaissance palazzos, and it has a great tower to it. And so we're going to be taking nominations from people around the city about what they think should be archived. I can tell you now, the first building that we're going to do as part of this program is the Mission Chapel, which is at 205 Summer Street. We've been working for the developers who have great plans for that building. It was built in the middle 1850s. It looks a little bit like the building we own in Boston, built in the same period. And we're going to start our program by doing a survey of that as soon as in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and that's exciting just to see, what's happened in the Washington Square, and that is an historically significant building. And to see that adaptive reuse take place adds to the momentum with the new hotel. All of that led by the historic preservation and reinstituting the fundamental mission of Union Station as an intermodal transportation hub, bringing that back, and then to bring this online would be quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, I saw that building first when I was looking at buildings in Worcester. And if I had more guts, I would have gone for it. But there's no way I could buy that building and build it for an office. It would have been a huge project, but the building's beautiful.
And the company, the developer, well-known and done some good work in,
Yes.
in some of our gateway cities.
Yeah, and they're great people, and they care about historic buildings as well. So I've talked to them about it. They're very excited about having that included in this program because they understand the value of archiving and doing this type of work.
Right, right. You know, in that regard, as you kind of think about your growth plans, in Worcester, got a beachhead here, looking at to grow. As you think about the next moves, what's the plan?
Well, the plan so far is to get this office built out and finish that sometime in June, hopefully be here in July. We've met with great people from Worcester Business Journal who are going to help us. We're going to do some advertising with them. We're going to stay in touch with you guys. I've been to a lot of your programs
Yeah, thanks.
already.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
And you guys have been great. So we're going to start by staffing it with a few Worcester people who live here. One person we just hired this week. He's a great guy who was born in Puerto Rico, but he was living in Lowell for a while in Fitchburg. Now he's living in Worcester with his wife and kids. What's great for us too is people can actually afford to live here much easier than in a suburb of Boston and be a surveyor and have a great quality of life in Worcester. So right now with the office we're in, if we max it out, we would have about 12 people in that office, which could support 4 field crews, which they're 2-person crews. So that could let us grow from 70 people to 90.
Wow.
If we max that office out, and it's not going to happen overnight, I look at it as that'll be a good problem. We're going to need more space here. And I'm hoping by then maybe rents will be higher, or maybe I should have bought the condo next to me, I don't know. But if we get to that place, it'll be great.
Great.
It'll be great.
Well, Michael Feldman, President and CEO of Feldman Surveyors. Michael, if someone wanted to go on a website or learn more, contact
Sure.
you.
We're feldmansurveyors.com.